This time of the year makes us all think about family and the importance of keeping them safe. Just like my mom did over 30 years ago by choosing Honda. You can lease the 2018 Honda CR-V LX all-wheel drive for only $197 per month. That's peace of mind for only $197 per month. I'm Jason Perico for Bianchi Honda, and I promise to help you find the right Honda for your family.
This is what would be playing when Coach picks the music at practice. AC/DC, probably.
No, we listen to some things. I don't know what they are, but as long as they don't have curse words in them, I'm okay with the kids putting out whatever they want.
Good stuff. He is Brad Rzyczycki, head coach of the Gannon Golden Knights. This is the Gannon Golden Knights coaches show, coming off of a victory. I asked you when you walked in, do you feel one monkey lighter off your back?
Yes and no. I'm really happy for the kids. I think, I'm 45 years old, so I can go to bed knowing, put my head on a pillow that we've worked our tail off to get to where we're at. But, I'm really happy for those guys because the win goes a long way with confidence. And, we've been a team that's been winning every game and not closing them out. So I was happy for those guys.
How long do you stay in a victory, the post-game victory frame of mind before you turn the page? Is it hours? Is it?
I think you enjoy the win that day. I know as coaches you go home and you can sleep a lot better, because you don't get a ton of sleep during the week. But, once you finish one off and you win, I think I went to bed at 8:30 and woke up Sunday late for work at about 8 a.m. the next day. So it was a good night's rest from that standpoint, but you move on, relatively soon after that game's over.
It's just so important in football to be confident. If you're not confident, you're not going to get ahead. And we had talked, and that was a big word that you brought up in those close losses, was maybe it was just confidence that was lacking. How much confidence does a win like this give you? How do you build off of it?
Yeah, practice has been a lot better. We practice Tuesday mornings at 6 o'clock in the morning. They had more pep in their step from that standpoint because it's 18 to 22-year-old to practice at 6 in the morning. Sometimes when they're in the training room at 5 a.m., they're not ready to roll. But you can see what a win does, and they've all been really focused. It helps that we're on fall break this week, too, because they've been getting off their feet and getting rested, and you can tell. But, yeah, the win, we'll see. We play a really good Cal team, but the kids are feeling themselves right now after a victory.
It was Seton Hill, the final score of this game. Oh, of course, I don't have it in front of me. 48-28?
Sounds about right.
Seton Hill, though, I think traditionally people look at them as one of the weaker teams. The fact is, anybody can beat anybody in the PSAC, and they seem to have some skill on the field.
Yeah, they have a lot of skill. The week before, they played Clarion in 1916. They've been in the majority of games that they've played to this point, I think, except for Westchester. That one got away from them early on. But, anyone can play with anyone. They got probably the best receiver that we've faced all year that was out there, number 17, that we were scared to death of. And, we did some things to bracket him in the back end. But they're talented enough to go beat anyone. I'd be very surprised if they didn't get a win this year.
Mark Jones in this game, of course, he seems to be the first guy I mention every week, but he set the career mark in Gannon history. He had 264 yards and 4 touchdowns. So, what went well for you on Saturday?
I just think that we're getting more into a groove offensively. And, I think Coach Hoy's done a really good job of putting Marcus in some different situations that people can't just chase him or put a lot of hats on him. But a lot of that stuff on Saturday, he ran through some tackles. I mean, it was obvious. I was sitting on the sideline. A lot of those things happened. Even the 4th and 1 I called, I think, middle of the fourth quarter, where if it doesn't go well, if it's on our – I think it was on our own 37-yard line. It's 4th and about half a yard. I went for it because of that kid. There was no other reason I was doing it. I just said put the ball in his hands, and he ran away for a touchdown. I'm not sure exactly how far it went, but he's a difference maker out there. I mean, he's healthy. He's running well. He's playing with a lot of confidence right now, and he ran through some tackles on Saturday.
Jason Dombach, the quarterback, had to fill in for Jimmy Keefe at an inopportune time, you could say. It's never opportune to have your starter go down. He was another guy that you wanted to see a little bit of more confidence from. Thought he played really well against Edinboro. I had asked you about zip on the ball after that game because there were just a couple windows he didn't quite find. I wonder if that was something that was remedied going into this week with Seton Hill.
Yeah, I think every week he's gotten better. I mean, this week, we were playing some stuff schematically, defensively, and he threw a field side 10-yard out on a dime, and I'm looking back to find out who exactly that was. So I think his confidence is getting better. It always does when you get more reps and you're seeing it and you're able to be the guy communicating with the people on the field. So I just think he'll get better for the last 5 games of the season as we go along through this process. And you really could see it Saturday. I mean, he threw the ball well to Dante Owens and some other guys out there, but he called a good game when he had a couple plays to get us into versus what Seton Hill was giving us too. So he did a really good job of managing the game. And we scored 40-some points and it had a lot to do. I know Martell Davis picked off a pass and went 100 yards, but it had a lot to do with Jason Dombach on the field.
Jack Quinn said that was 102 yards. Agree or disagree?
I don't know I asked the guys, I don't know if you just can only get 100 or you can get 100
That's
too.
what I wondered, if it was this level, they don't count the yards into the end zone.
Yeah, I think you can on kickoff returns and punt returns, but you can't on intercept. I don't know what it is.
Well,
I just know it went 100 yards and he scored.
I demand a recount. You just know he hit pay dirt. That kid, he's been playing. He's something else this year. Not just the interceptions. That's a guy who can tackle in open space, and it seems to be rare in football. You see it at all levels. Guys don't tackle in open space.
Yeah, he's a physical kid. I mean, he went and tackled the Fletcher kid down to Edinburgh, I thought, really well. And he's as good as we're going to see from a tailback position unless we're playing ourselves. And I think probably helps seeing Marcus in practice. But, we don't take Marcus to the ground. We don't tackle in practice. But, yeah, Martell's been playing really good. I think his best asset, I've pushed him around a lot of different places defensively. And he's picked it up, whether he's playing free, he's playing our field side safety, our weak side safety. We've done a lot with him. I've pressured him against Clarion quite a bit. So, and from week to week, we kind of give him an assignment because he can handle it and kind of get everyone else aligned on the field.
Due to injury, you had to have several guys step up at the middle linebacker spot. It was James Sims this week, 12 tackles. How is the defense coming along? I think that you mentioned you started out a little behind the 8 ball. You had to install some new stuff the week leading up to your game. So you've come a long way since then.
Yeah, I mean, it's different because, John Thompson was with us before. We bring in a little bit of a lot different scheme when we're a 4-man front. Because of injuries, we've had to mix some different fronts in. I think even like Cal is like us from a certain standpoint that we've got to kind of scheme who we're playing and not be completely out of the framework of what we taught our kids early on and still have the similar stuff in there. But I got to play the people I got, and I have to use what their best skill asset is defensively. And each week it seems like someone else is stepping up. So I'm finding out I can use Martell Davis in different areas. James Sims, I can use him doing different things because he's 6'3", 6'4". So he has some skill assets that you would see with a defensive end. So I got to find out what we do best, who we got available because of injury, and then work it to make it work to who we're playing against offensively. So Cal will give us a different test than what Seton Hill did.
Yeah, was it last year? It was a 3-3 stack. You probably can't get into that with the.
We could. It would just that takes a lot of time and
hybrid
understanding.
Safety, probably.
Yeah, I mean the back end's kind of the same with the secondary part of it, where you're trying to put 5 DBs on the field. The difference is with the kids up front. It would just. From where you're supposed to go from a gap assignment standpoint, I've kind of taken the thinking part of it out of it for our kids right now and just let them go play.
Makes sense. Gannon and California on Saturday. It's 3 p.m. from Adamson Stadium, so you hit the road. Cal's just a tough team. What are your thoughts on Cal looking at them on film?
Yeah, they lost their first 2 games and then have rattled off, I think, 4 in a row now. Beat IUP at home. I think that was either 1 or 2 in the country at that time. Quarterback is playing really good. I mean, they always have obviously a lot of skill defensively. They've had a lot of personnel changes, and they mimic. I don't want to say mimic. They kind of are like us. They're kind of having their own plan for whoever they play, but they put some athletes on the field. So it's going to be a tough challenge. I'm anxious to see how confident we go down there and play, because it's going to be a big test for us. They're playing well at home. It's their homecoming. We don't play till 3 o'clock, so it's a little bit of sitting around, and we won't leave till the day of because my kids are just like me from the standpoint it's hard to sit around a hotel and wait for a game.
Right.
So we're going to leave, day of and eat a little bit ways down there and then get to the game.
It is, I guess, a vacation. I always thought as a student that this was weird that we got fall break because I'm like, there's no holiday. There's Halloween at the end of this month if you really want to find a reason to take some time off. And then you've got Thanksgiving, Christmas. It seems like nobody's there from November to December. Not your problem, but what issues, if any, complications does it present to have a vacation time right now?
I think it's always better. I mean, to be honest with you, every time I've hit fall break, the kids are more sluggish because they're sleeping all day. I still have to maintain my NCAA hours. You can't have them more than 4 hours during the course of the day, and then
that's the shame is you'd keep them there all day, all week, right? It's got time off. You don't have to go to class.
We have shorter meetings because not to say my kids are like this. It's hard to keep anyone's attention for a long time when you're watching film. Especially when they're lifting on Wednesday or Sunday, and they're tired from that standpoint. So you try to get them in and out of meetings, get them their meals, and let them rest because their bodies are beat up right now. We don't have a bye week during the course of the year. So normally during fall break, we don't practice as well. It takes us a little bit, from a mental standpoint to catch up what we're doing, but we normally go play with a lot of energy because we're well rested going into the game.
He's Brad Rzyczycki, head coach of the Gannon Golden Knights. So will you have time to watch the Giants and Eagles tonight?
If I'm up, I will. The game started at 8:20.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? So late.
It's late. If that. Sometimes they don't start till 20 minutes after that. Do you try to steal things that you see in the NFL game, or is that...
It's funny. My wife just asked me that because she looked at me. I can't remember what I was watching. I think it was a repeat game that was on ESPN2 or something. She goes, do you ever get sick of watching football, or are you just sitting there watching schematically? It's fun, I think, to see what people are doing. I get frustrated watching TV games because you don't get a wide and tight of every play, and I'm used to seeing a wide, well, we have 3 different angles that we use. You only see the ball. So I can't see the back end. I can't see what exactly is going on in the outside part of it.
Yeah, they do that for dummies like me.
Well, the rotation of the secondary. So, it's that part of it's tough. So if they had a station where you could watch a cut up from a wide and tight or a wider angle.
That's an interesting thought.
So for me, it's frustrating, but, I like seeing the replays,
They should just put every NFL game on huddle afterwards and let people take it in that way.
Sure, because the film in the NFL is really good. When we're watching the Steelers film, when we're down there at OTAs, man, it's the best film you ever can see. It's like straight down on it, and they got about just every angle you can see.
Good stuff. Well, go home. Practice ended early. Get home, see the family. That, of course, is an important aspect of Brad Rzyczycki. I think people forget coaches have lives outside of sports. So anyways, good luck on Saturday, 3 p.m. It is the Cal Vulcans, and you can go down there and play spoiler.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Alex.